can I please have a motion to approve the reorganization agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
And then reorganization consent agenda.
Okay. Can I please have a motion to approve the reorganization consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
And approval of the appointments.
And we're not doing that individually.
If you would like to, we could list, here's the list of them.
I don't think we have. Does anybody on the board have a need to have the individual appointments read aloud, or are you all comfortable?
I'm good.
Okay. All right, then, that being said, can I... You can tell, just moving right along here tonight. Can I please have a motion to approve the appointments for 2019, 2020?
So moved.
Okay, all in favor? That's fine.
Yes.
Okay, because I had to.
Yes.
Okay. Now we are on to our oaths of office.
Correct.
Okay. Oath of office for the superintendent of schools.
Okay, I, Joseph E. Hochreiter, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of superintendent for the Hendrick Hudson School District according to the best of my abilities, effective July 1st, 2019 to June 30th, 2020.
Okay. Thank you. Now can I have the oath of office to the district clerk?
I, Roseanne Squilanti, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and I will faithfully discharge the duties of district clerk for the Hendrick Hudson Central School District according to the best of my ability, effective July 1, 2019 to June 30, 2020.
And this one we don't have to do.
Which one?
Oath of office to the
No.
district clerk for 10. Okay.
No, they were given their oaths earlier, effective July 1.
Just approve them that they are backup.
Okay.
Right.
That's
And-
wonderful. All right, so now we have the oath of office to our newly elected board members who we're very, very happy to have back on our board with us.
Trustees Abraham, Anderson, and Oricchio, would you like to state your oath of office, please?
Together.
You
Yeah.
can do it together, whatever
I
you would
think
like
we
to
should
do.
do it
Just do it
separately.
together and in harmony.
Exactly, I agree.
I think harmony's going to be hard.
I think we do it together.
Go ahead, you start.
Someone said separately, someone said together.
Together.
Yeah,
Let's
let's
just
do
do
it
it.
together, okay.
I, William Oricchio,
Abraham.
do
solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and I will faithfully discharge the duties of Board of Education trustee for the Hendrick Hudson Central School District according to the best of my ability, effective July 1st, 2019
2019
through June 30th, 2022.
22, can you believe it? Okay. Now we have election of president for 2019-2020, and I would like to nominate Carol Abraham.
Second.
For-
Oh, can we do that? Sorry.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Hallelujah.
And phone calls will be
That's
forwarded.
right. Now, I would like nominations for vice president of the board.
I nominate Barbara Pedersen.
Second.
Second.
Unanimous, okay.
Okay. All
I made
right.
that noise.
Okay.
Yay. Do I have to finish or?
Are we there yet?
We usually have you finish the meeting.
Yeah, you finished the motion.
Oh, that's sorry.
They can switch after that if she's.
Yeah. I've never done this before.
Finish the.
All
All
right.
right, okay, wait, I have to read an oath of office, I think.
Yes. So now we need an oath of office by the board president.
Okay, I, Carol Popolo Abraham, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of board president for the Hendrick Hudson Central School District according to the best of my ability, effective July 1st, 2019 to June 30th. Wait a minute. Not
No,
2022.
it's
2020.
2020.
We'll fix that.
I haven't been elected for 3 years. just
So you
one.
know, everybody's getting so excited, Carol.
Thought you tricked me.
Okay.
Okay. I, Barbara Pedersen, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of Board Vice President for the Hendrick Hudson Central School District according to the best of my ability, effective July 1st, 2019 to June 30th, 2020.
So if you could all sign your oaths of office and hand them to me. Pass that.
Got it.
We'll be happy about that. I'm done.
Stay there. You will switch
No, I
seats.
do not want to stay here any longer than I have to. I welcome you.
Shall we
I'm
wait?
offended.
It has nothing to do with you. I love being next to you. I just want to be away from the gavel.
Okay. We have to rearrange. Hold on 1 second. Is this yours?
That's me.
Where's my mouse? Thank you. Okay, what's next?
So now we're up to the regular meeting agenda. Ask for a motion to approve the agenda and then the consent agenda.
Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is it on the consent agenda or the regular agenda?
But this.
You can abstain on the consent then, if you like? If that's-
So now.
Because that's the next motion.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
We're
Aye.
going to abstain.
Very excitedly, but yes, I have to abstain.
We're all very excited.
All right, so next we go to items removed from the consent agenda. And we have several donations tonight. Our first donation is a donation to approve $3,000 for the high school graduating class of 2019. The high school is the recipient of several donations for specific graduation awards, including the Doug Mowbray Art Award, the Graduation Award, the Margaret McCory Scholarship, and the Marcia Bailey Scholarship. We thank everybody for their very generous donations. But we don't have them up on the board today.
Yeah.
So,
Do you want to go through all of them and then ask for more motions to approve?
yeah. Our next donation is from the Live Committee. It's to approve a donation from the Hendrick Hudson Community Education Foundation from the 2018 Live event for $3,224.48 for the Hendrick Hudson School District. The money has been placed in a trust and agency account, and the use for these funds will be determined in the future. Thank you to the Live Committee and all your work you've put in. It's a very valuable asset to our school community. Third is the Barbara Katzenstein Scholarship Fund. The Office of Special Education has received donations in the amount of $585 to be utilized to pay for partial summer camp funding for students with significant handicapping conditions. Thank you very much to the Barbara Katzenstein Foundation.
Barbara
And-
Katzenstein worked in French aid. She was wonderful.
When I was there, she.
Yeah? Remember? Just the kindest person.
And the last donation tonight is to approve a donation from the Frank G. Lindsay Elementary School PTA for $3,819.69 for Ashokan and to increase the budget in that amount. Thank you very much to the PTA for all of their very good work. Can I get a motion to approve these donations, please?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Our next section is audience comments on non-agenda items. And before we take audience comments, if you are planning on making an audience comment, hopefully you have signed up with Roseanne Scalanti. And the Hendrick Hudson Board of Education does welcome public comment at this portion of the meeting. Each speaker is permitted 3 minutes for their comments and must be recognized by the board president. All comments must be directed to the board president. The board will listen to comments and input, but will not necessarily debate or discuss items. Operational matters will be directed to school administration for handling. The board is not permitted to address personnel or individual student matters in open session, and the board will limit repetitive comments in order to give time to others wishing to speak, as well as to maintain meeting efficiency. Is there anybody who would wish to come up and speak this evening? So we are up to the superintendent's report.
Couple updates to let everyone know that we are still here and a lot of good things are happening in the summer. But I'll rewind back to June 30th. We had our commencement ceremony at SUNY Purchase, where just under 200 seniors at that point graduated. It was a great ceremony full of music and speeches, and it's always a lot of fun. There's always the right balance between excitement and pomp and circumstance. So congratulations to the 200 students who are running off to college or the real world, or we have a couple who are joining the military, so we wish all of them luck and make sure they don't forget about us. In that same vein, we're going to start publishing some podcasts we did of various conversations I had with seniors who won various awards. We celebrated a number of those students in our last board meeting in June, but I was able to sit down with them and get into a little more depth in the conversation in terms of their HENHUD experience and where they're off to, and some memories that they'll cherish and take with them. So over the course of the summer, we'll slowly unroll those. Leadership Week, it's our annual in-district conference with our administrative team and our teacher leaders. That's July 23rd, 24th, and 25th. The elementary team will be focused on implementing our social emotional learning curriculum, and I'm sure Lisa and Margaret will touch on that shortly. The high school is working on various initiatives that have been surfacing over the last number of years around grading and consistency, and some policies around that area. The track and field, if you haven't seen it recently, we're going to post new pictures of recent developments, but it's getting messier, which actually means we're getting closer. So we've pulled up all of the grass and soil and deposited over there. That's what those big mounds are, to be used as good soil for our other fields. And pretty soon we'll put in a drainage system. Big bulldozers are digging up the foundation of the old track to lay the foundation of the new track. So we're moving along, and so far, as Enrique I think reported about a month ago, as well as our contractors, that what we need is dry weather. So we've had a good run of dry weather. The forecast on my phone says we'll continue to have dry weather. You know, pop-up thunderstorms are one thing because it rains and then dries up quickly. So as long as there isn't prolonged storms coming through or rain events, we should be able to stay on schedule. We're also publishing later this week the final numbers from the governor approving the increase in the county sales tax revenue. Our final calculation is a touch under $640,000 of new and unanticipated revenue that will come over the next 16 months, starting in August of 2019, going all the way until December of 2020. So the rest of this fiscal year and all of next fiscal year. So that was a very, very important assumption that came to fruition. It was one of our meetings in early June, or maybe late May, that Enrique gave a a projection of what tax increases and revenues and expenses would look like. And one of the major assumptions that we were banking on, because we felt good about it, was this county tax revenue. And this final number of, this final estimation is actually higher than what we were anticipating before. So that's very good news. And while no one likes their taxes to go up, the rationale behind this from the county was that we have a lot of, or the county has a lot of folks who don't live in Westchester but shop here. They fly here, they stay in hotels, they go to the malls. The majority of our teachers, for example, teachers are our biggest workforce in our district. Majority of them do not live in Westchester County, but they certainly shop here or fill up with gas or grab groceries on their way home. So it's not necessarily a tax increase on ourselves. The plan is that most of the revenue is going to be generated from non-county residents. So that's a really good additional revenue number that will help us as we continue to contemplate making a point. And with that, I'll turn it over to our team. We can start with Laura.
So technology, we are, equipment is arriving, which is exciting and also overwhelming at the same time. So we have a lot of Chromebooks that have arrived. We're waiting for iPads. So basically just doing inventory and managing all of the technology, getting ready for the rollout with Frank G. We are updating the desktop computers at the district office as well as all of them at Frank G, and then also recycling the computers that we have at Frank G and getting credit for them, which is exciting for future purchases. We, on the HR side, as you guys can see from every agenda, we've been hiring and hiring and hiring, and I'm happy to say that tonight's agenda is the last of the teaching staff, anticipated teaching staff for the upcoming school year, so that's exciting. We'll be focusing on hiring, and along with Enrique, teaching assistants, aides, monitors, things like that we may need. That's sort of our next step, but tonight's the last of our teachers to be hired, so happy about that. And we have our new assistant director of PPS as well. So one of our new teachers tonight here is Alana Whitwich. She is a teaching assistant at the middle school, and she is going to be one of our new special education teachers at the middle school. So congratulations, Alana.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited. Thank you.
And I will let Lisa speak on behalf of Anne, our new assistant director of People Personnel Services.
So Ann Narcisse comes to us, so welcome Ann. From Peekskill, but Ann and I go back a little bit for P&W BOCES. She was a trainer, so she did a lot of training from special ed. So she would be the first one that gets memos, and those memos would be turnkey to all the districts. So she has a great wealth of knowledge. She's been sought after for many districts. So we are very excited that she chose us, because I know she's had 3 or 4 offers on the table. So we're very excited to have you and to see you start July 22nd.
Yes, thank you.
Just around the corner.
Yeah, thank you.
So thank you and welcome. Yeah. All right.
Welcome,
go.
welcome
Sure.
everybody. Yep.
Yes. So you brought up the Kettenstein Foundation. I will tell you that we were able to send 7 to 10 students to camp this summer. I was able to sit with a family, which was, last year it was just Mr. Kettenstein, and this year it was him and his daughter. And it was such a different dynamic, and to hear them share stories about Mom and his wife were amazing. But they also shared stories, and they really talked about, they would see the kid on the paper, oh, we really need to help them, and Dad would be something, and the daughter would be like, Dad, you need to know, and it was just a great dynamic to see. So we were able to send 7 to 10 students to camp, which is wonderful, and they wouldn't have that opportunity without those donations, so thank you, everybody. As Joe had stated, we are leadership. Margaret and I are getting ready to roll out SEL. We actually have a planning meeting tomorrow with the team, and we really want to make that leadership week really hands-on. You know, give the teachers a kit, walk them through the kit. What does the kit look like? What does a lesson plan look like? How do I incorporate it so it's not another thing for me to do? How do I put it in Morning Circle? How do I use, so we really talked about it. Margaret has done a lot of legwork on the books, so the books are aligned to what we're working on per month, as well as incorporating literacy more with the SEL. I don't know if there's more that you want to say about that.
No, that's good. We'll
And we,
talk about other things. but-
yeah, and we are off and running. I think I only have like 10 more meetings to do this summer, which is exciting for me. So we're getting there, and we're ready, we have our staff, which is exciting. That's the biggest thing, is making sure you have the staff, and PD has already begun, so.
So, lots of teachers are still here, hidden away in dark little corners doing important work for us. I'd like to take this opportunity to publicly thank Barbara LaFemina, who is my second in command for Bookmobile, and without her it wouldn't run nearly as smoothly as it does. We have been off to a highly successful start. People are sending me pictures every day of the little munchkins that show up, and the kids are excited about being able to borrow a book. The camp actually asked us to extend our hours. I can't do that this year, but we will build it into the schedule for next year, so we're excited about that. Hopefully the weather holds and we don't get rained out too much. So that's going underway. We have, I don't know how many teachers, but quite a number of teachers at all levels doing summer curriculum writing, so they're busy doing that. I've already been sent some projects for review. That's exciting. Busy building the PD calendar for next year. I have one more outside consultant to meet with tomorrow to get those dates up and running, and then we're ready to publish and incorporate it into our new My Learning Plan for us next year. That'll be exciting to be able to use. And it's grant time, so the title grants are due, and there are lots and lots of new regulations. So we were very busy upstairs today running around and trying to figure out how to comply with all of the new requests. So I'm selfishly happy that Carmen Koch is over at district office, even if it is on a part-time basis, because her work is critical there. So we'll dig into that and get all that going. And again, hiring, so mentoring is in place. All of our new teachers have registered for their expected coursework for next year, some of which is live and in person during the school year. But one course that will be taken by year 3 folks is an online course that they can start over the summer. So they've already been asking me when can we log in. Other than that, it's, you know, every day brings something new that we have to look at together, and it's nice to be able to chat with the principals without the pressure of running down the hall to put out a fire. So we're getting some work accomplished at the building level as well. So getting ready for Leadership Week is the next priority.
And Enrique, it's end of year financial time.
No, actually financially, as we know, we're starting our audit in the last week in July. What the important thing is the track and field. We are still under budget and on schedule to open the field for our first football game in September 27th.
Wow.
Okay, thank you.
This brings us to our second audience comment section, and this is for hearing of the public on agenda items. Same rules apply as before.
Can I ask a question? After we're
Yes, no
We'll take our
comments?
audience.
Yes.
For our computers, we still have desktop for kids, right? Like, do kids all work on the Chromebooks?
So at the elementary level, at this point, they will have Chromebooks and iPads, and teachers have desktops.
I only say that because there's so many reports coming out about how bad it is for kids. They're crunched over, their postures, they're on these little screens, so I don't know if we could.
So one of the things, I mean, that's part of also the typing training that they get. So they have Typing Pal and Typing Agent, so they're being taught proper positioning and how to type. So if you look at the keyboard, it's a little bit bigger than this, and the Chromebooks also are touch as well, so they can maneuver and work. One of the benefits is that we've seen at BB and Furnace Woods, our students are able to collaborate and work in groups. They're able to move around the room. They can cache to and from the smartboard or the PAL using the Smart Learning Suite.
No, that I know, but I just want to
Yeah.
make sure that we still have that option too, because even, I teach high school, and many of the high school kids hate these little tiny Chromebooks. They're so convenient and movable and all that kind of stuff, but they're all like this.
Well, as of today, we still have desktop labs in the high school and middle school,
Mhm.
but a lot
Yeah.
of the feedback coming from staff is it's wasted space because they're not as used
They should
and
ask the kids, not the
Kids bring
teachers.
their laptops in. a lot of them.
And at the middle school and high school, what we did this year, and Matthew done it prior to me, but what I did this year was I met with, a few different times throughout the year, met with Frenchie staff and the principal. They also tested different products out with their students, different grade levels, and then through that we received feedback. And that was how we came to our final decision of what the school would get. I'm already in conversation with middle school teachers about what's gonna work for them. And I'm definitely aware that secondary is a different animal than the elementary schools. So, you know, whether it be the art classes, technology classes, and then specific subject areas as we look at what the middle school would look like, because they're the next year to get the updates on their technology. So I'm very conscious of that, and then also we think forward 2 years to the high school where some of them have much, you know, Project Lead the Way programs which require laptops, computers, much bigger, larger, much more
Right,
expensive, you know, a lot more to them than a Chromebook would. So there's already a lot of variety, like, you know, in engineering classes and things like that they already have now. Some teachers are using the Surface Pro, which is what Carol has over there, which is, you know, in industry, a lot of people are using that computer device. So the challenge that I face and my technology team is working with me is to identify how do we merge multiple platforms. We want to make sure that, especially as the kids go to middle school and high school, whether they bring their own device in or we're providing the device, that all the devices are compatible and work together along with the teacher. Because that's really where we see what's happening in college now with what the students are doing. So what's interesting is that 2 of our interns are college students, so they've been giving us really interesting feedback about what it's been like in their classrooms and what they've been experiencing and how their teachers, you know, teach, whether it's a lecture style, small classes. But we're aware of that and just trying to identify.
Yeah, I mean, even kids might say, some
long-term.
kids will say, oh, I love it. You can't get away from it. You have to be able to carry stuff. But from a medical, like they're saying, it's terrible for your back and
Cell phones even
the
kids are getting us.
Yeah.
that bone,
productive
right?
versions,
I know,
yeah,
so
in the back of their heads.
we just have to be aware
So,
of that.
I don't think it's just kids, I think adults
Everybody.
too.
I know,
Everybody
just
is
to watch
always
out.
on
You
their
just gotta-
phones.
It's hard and you have to, it's a lot to worry about.
It's
Now we have to
hard.
look at your posture
Yeah.
too. It's like, my screen's up here, so I'm looking like, just
Well,
to,
put little
just to keep that on the
Little
burner.
sensors on their back so they remember to mark those.
Sometimes, I know, I mean, I have kids that are finishing college and finished college recently, and they went with, when they chose their own laptops or device, they went with a larger laptop.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was quite large, but they were trying to balance large enough for comfort, but able to carry it.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And then recently, they gave us a Surface Pro, my wife and I, as a gift, and I find that you could get a decent-sized laptop cheaper than a Surface Pro, because you're paying for the compactness, so it's almost like it's a cost-effective way and more comfortable to work on.
And it depends on your use, but Surface Pro has a lot of use that we may not every day be utilizing, where, you know, in the graphic world, art world, different things that you can use the stylus on. I agree, you can get laptops at a pretty affordable price now and at bigger screens. I myself have a laptop that's a 15-inch screen for that reason. So I use
And
this
it's
then-
not necessarily expensive,
Yeah.
it's cheaper than, you know.
Yeah, and you know, that, again, that's one of the reasons why I've already had conversations with middle school staff this year to start, you know, playing around with what they think would work. And so I can start identifying some products that they can start piloting this year and trying out.
Just having some kids input too.
Yeah, no, and we do. And so, you know, with the elementary school, it was, you know, one of the kindergarten teachers actually had the students do a reflective piece. And that was just between, you know, the Chromebook and the iPad, but she actually had them do, you know, reflection and persuasion on which device and why. So we made sure that they were communicating with their students and kind of getting an idea of what they felt like worked. So both from the teacher perspective and the student perspective. And I agree, I think as we get to the middle school, we'd be able to probably get more concrete feedback from them and reflection. So it's something we can definitely put into place.
Good. Thank you.
All right, so next is board comments or new business. Usually we have committee reports during this section, but I don't believe there are committees that have been meeting in the past few weeks. I do have a couple of comments. I just wanted the public to know that the comment period for the district-wide safety plan, which started June 26th, will end approximately July 26th. You can find the current safety plan and the revised safety plan on our website. If you go to the website and press the home button, then you go to offices, and you look for operations, maintenance, and safety, and you'll see that there is a safety plan tab there, and you can find both of those safety plans on that page.
It's also in our newsfeed.
It's also in our newsfeed.
It's also
The
easier.
newsfeed drops down. and
Yeah, you just
You
have
have
to,
to hit
you
view
may
all.
have to scroll for the
Right.
newsfeed and
Yeah,
on
view
that date,
all.
actually.
Nobody will know to
With
go
a
to
little-
office.
So it's, yeah.
Nobody will know to go to office.
Well, that's why
Well,
we're
they will
also
now, that's
looking
why I
at
said
the website right now, trying to revitalize it. That's a project
I
we
think
have
that's
in the summer.
important, you know, because
Yes.
a lot of people would comment to me and to Carol that things were just difficult for people to find.
Yeah, we've all experienced that.
We need a real user experience specialist to come in and look at that website. It's not about the graphics, it's about user experience.
So I actually am having a meeting tomorrow, sorry, I'm jumping, but we have a meeting tomorrow. Joe and I met with a representative from BOCES along with Karen to talk about that, someone who really knows how to, who has worked with the school districts on their websites, who's worked with Blackboard. So I have a follow-up meeting with her tomorrow to kind of see what her ideas are and thoughts are. So she's gonna give us some reflection, based on, and going in as a user onto our website. So we're hoping for some tweaking and revision, and just the paths even, you know, I mean, you just
Yeah.
listed like a 4-step path, so
Yes.
trying to make it a little bit easier and also more distinctive per school. So when you go to a specific school site, you get information for that specific school.
Are we also interviewing parents and other users of the site to find out what they want?
At this point, it's really just a cleanup, that's our first step, is just to
Okay.
clean up what we have, make sure that there, if there's dead links, that, you know, we remove those, so that was our first step right now.
I think it's just important to have links that are accessible, you know, so if we're saying we have links, people can find them, you know, that's
Right.
that's
There's only
been
so
the
many,
biggest
the problem
thing.
is there's only so many things that we put on the homepage.
Well, that's the issue.
Right.
The issue is how do you prioritize and, you know, because if I need to find a certain document that I regularly look at, a lunch menu, a bus schedule, or whatever, that's important to me and I want to be able to find it in 2 clicks as opposed to.
Well, I know, and the last time we revised the website, that's when Charles was on the board, because we were on that committee together, you know, with Matthew to pick the new website and,
Yeah, that was a vendor. We had to
Vendor,
change
yeah.
vendors because they were all buying each other out and
yeah, my
merging.
goodness.
Well, it'd be nice if we could have individual dashboards, all right? So you go to the site and it's custom tailored for you. Like I go to a number of sites on intranets where the site is actually tailored for the content you want to see. So if you log in, here's my dashboard. So I want to see the menu, I want to see the bus schedule, and they're all right there just for me.
I'll have to
Like
see if Blackboard
individualized.
offers that.
special.
No, it's intuitive and it makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
It's
happy.
like when you
to hear
shop,
that
your
website's
entire
being
thing comes up.
Attended to.
Yes, yes, very well where it needs some help.
Do we have, I forgot what they call it, it's like an index.
Sure, yes, what is the email address for the comments?
Safetyplan@henhoodschools.org.
Thank you.
A lot of websites have like an index, I think they call it a sitemap.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Do we have that readily available?
We have it readily, that's.
Because
sort
quite
of-
often, that'll be a quick way,
Yeah,
when I get frustrated trying to find
you
something,
can
I
do a search.
frequently do
Yeah.
the sitemap.
Yeah,
Search.
My second item is NYSBA, which is our New York State School Board Association, recommends that at this meeting, we nominate someone to be our legislative liaison. And Lisa really has been doing this role kind of unofficially for quite a while. That was the little thing you got handed out in the beginning. And the legislative liaison is a board member who's added to NYSBA's advocacy alerts and informed of calls to action and lobby days. That person takes the lead on getting their board involved in key local, state, and federal advocacy issues. They're also invited to talk with, to go to attend meetings with staff from offices of our representatives, senators, et cetera. So I would like to nominate Lisa as
too.
our our legislative liaison.
Lisa's
We
been
can
doing
have more than
anyway.
one legislative liaison, so if anybody else is interested in doing this as well,
Is Lisa interested in continuing it?
she is.
I'll
Okay.
second Lisa.
Third, I got it, come on.
I'll fourth.
So thank you very much, Lisa. It's really
it's
nice to
Lisa.
have
I
someone.
think it's
who-
Lisa.
So you want to do it too?
No, I just want to make sure she wants to do it
Oh, yeah.
again
She's smiling.
before we
you have
not
to know, yeah.
elect her.
It's great to have someone who is really involved in that and really engaging this board on a wider level. So thank you so much for all the time and effort you put into that. Roseanne, I think you have to let Lisbon know that Lisa will be our
I definitely
liaison.
will.
Thank you. That's it for my comments. Does anybody else have anything they wanted to address this evening? No? Okay. Can I have a motion to close the regular portion of the meeting? We do need to have a quick exec.
So
Be
moved.
very quick.
And second.